I'm T, and I want to talk to you guys today about human trafficking. First, I want you guys to visualize the number 21 million. And to help you guys out, San Jose City has around 1 million people living there right now. So that's 21 San Jose cities being pressed into one. That is a huge number of people. And sadly, around 21 million people were also forced into labor in 2012 all over the globe. More than half of them coming from Asia, and a lot of them, a large part of them came from Africa and Latin America. And whether or not human trafficking directly affects us or not, I think it's very important for each and every one of us to understand what it is and how it operates. The research I have conducted will cover the many aspects of the issue. And first, I want to talk about what constitutes human trafficking. And according to the UN, human trafficking has three elements: the acts, the means, and the purpose. The first part, the act, describes on what is being done to the person, and this includes the recruitment or transportation, the transferment or harboring of persons. So smuggling people over the border illegally would constitute as human trafficking. Next is the means, and it describes the methods that human traffickers use to lure their victims in. This includes force, threats, abduction, or even deceptions. An example would be human traffickers deceive people by through false advertisements and promise of payments to lure people in forced labor jobs. Last but not least is the purpose. Obviously, objectively, for human traffickers, the goal is money. But for victims, human trafficking usually means labor and sexual exploitation, slavery, and even possibly organs removal. With these definitions in mind, I would like to go on and talk about how human trafficking is operating all over the world. And human trafficking is a huge problem, and it's affecting almost every country all over the world. For example, posing as legal businesses, a lot of legitimate organizations are enabling human traffickers. And for example, human trafficker would use threats or deportation to force undocumented Central American women into prostitution in New York in 2012. With the rise of technology in the 21st century, predators and human traffickers are also conducting human trade through cyber trafficking. International marriage sites that are used to find trafficable victims, where they are promised to have a promise to be introduced to a foreign spouse, but instead they are sold into the trafficking ring operation. Last but not least, I want to talk about how sexism is affecting a lot of countries, and how it's somewhat enabling human trafficking. And one of the biggest example I can give is China one-child policy, where couples are only allowed to have one child. And with Chinese people preference of boys over girls, as a result, China has a sex imbalance ratio, and it is estimated by 2020 around 30 million single men will be unable to find wives in China. And this very high demand of wives and sexual partners is being met by human traffickers who will supply women to these men. And the neighboring countries to China will be most affected. And for example, Southeast Asian countries and Mongolia or Eastern Europe will be affected by China's high demand of women. In conclusion, human trafficking is defined by its acts, means, and purpose. It is a destructive crime, and since it is so complicated and spread out, it needs to be approached from multiple angles. The fight against human trafficking is long and complicated. I hope after this speech you are more aware of human trafficking and that you are more inspired to be engaged with this topic from now on. Thank you.